Hello, everyday leaders. Tonight is Sunday, November the 8th. I can't believe this whole year has been flying by. Hard to believe that it's already November. Some exciting things to share with you tonight. I am Melanie Ake with the Everyday Leaders platform. And the last time I was live, I was bringing you some great information about how we are investing in our youth through COVID-19. And I am part of the John Maxwell team, as you've heard me say over and over again. And tonight, I am donning my hat from the Global Youth Initiative from a couple of years ago. And the reason that I wanted to come back on here tonight to follow up on one of the programs that we offered through the John Maxwell team. And my colleagues here are actually the ones that are hosting this event. And so I thought it was really important to bring them back on here and talk about what they did on Saturday for the very first live training that we did for Global Youth Initiative, inviting kids between 10 and 18 to learn about leadership. And what an amazing process in a safe environment. So, Glynis D'Souza, thank you so much for joining again tonight.
Thank you,
And
Melanie.
and Nick Goorbarry, thank you very much for joining us. And I know I joined you guys on
Thank you.
Saturday. This was
Yes.
a great event, right? We
Yeah.
host these um, every year. So, Glennis, tell me a little bit about the Global Youth Initiative. What is this through the John Maxwell team?
Well, the Global Youth Initiative is a way for the John Maxwell team leaders to give back to the youth in the community. Now, we've got several hundred youth coaches and trainers and speakers, but very often the programs that they put on are sometimes, they do have a price, but this is our chance to give back through these free events twice a year in April and in October. And our aim, really, the vision of John, is to reach 100,000 kids, youth all over the world. And so we do that in little bits and portions. And last Saturday was just one of those sessions. It is so fulfilling, and it is a wonderful way to give back to the youth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you guys did this on Zoom, so now people can't say, I don't know how to use Zoom, right?
Absolutely.
This was the year of Zoom.
Yeah. Yeah.
The zeros and the O's, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so I hopped on with you guys on Saturday, and so it was from 2 to 3:30, and again it'll be this Saturday from 2 to 3:30. And what's important is, it's a safe environment for kids to jump on, and I think the lessons that my takeaways, the biggest lessons were, giving kids the opportunity to know about failure, right? How to accept
Yeah.
failure in their life. And so, Nick, I know you taught on this on Saturday. Could you talk a little bit about kind of the principles in that?
Well, one of the things that I shared on was on a couple of traps that adults, youths as well as adults can face, and that's a comparison and a perfection trap. And so when we have a loss, and we like to win, everyone likes to win. And when you win and you have a win, it builds confidence in you. But when you have a loss, you could begin to look at ways in why did that happen. And comparison is one of those things where you can say, oh, I'm not good as Glynis, I'm not good as Melanie. And, that's why I failed, or that's why I stumbled, that's why I tripped over. And that's a trap that youths can fall into. I know adults have fallen into it. I have in the past, and it's one of the things that we want youths to understand is that it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail. A lot of successful people have failed, and but what they have done is to take that failure and not only view it as a failure or a failing, but also use it as a stepping stone towards success. And so, comparison as well as perfection. Sometimes we want to be perfect. Things have to be perfect before we get started, and that's another trap that we can get into and youths can get into. So, um, that's one of the things that I shared on Saturday. Yeah.
And it was so powerful because you also had parents that joined, which I thought was amazing. Think about this
Yeah.
relationship that parents have had to bond with their kids differently through all this COVID the last several
Yeah.
months, and so how that looks to them, just taking these lessons and saying, if I can give my child confidence that the things that they're learning, they can then take and fulfill their life. They can start to reach a potential or think about something differently
Yeah.
through all of these lessons.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and we've got several people joining us here. So hello, everyone. Hello, Eric Reed and Raj. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Um, yeah. So besides that, right? When we talk about failure and then the communication, I know that was a big topic
Mm.
on Saturday. Talk a little bit about why communication is so important to our youth to learn these principles at this age.
Mm.
Absolutely. I think I'll touch a little bit about that, and then perhaps Nick can join in. But I do a lot of youth leadership and communication workshops. I have a background in Toastmasters, where I teach public speaking tips. And one of the biggest pet peeves or the biggest challenges that parents face really is that their youth are not communicating. And John has written a beautiful book called Everyone Communicates But Few Connect. So how do you communicate and then connect?
Mm.
But I believe that it all starts from self awareness, knowing who you are. And so one of the beautiful things that we always do at the beginning of every GYI is the youth exploratory report. And when the kids get their report and they see, oh, so that's what it is. I'm a D, I'm an I, or I'm a C, and that's why I communicate that way. Each one has such a different communication style. So it's as though a light bulb goes into
Mm.
out of the, it's kind of flashes into their brain, and they say, oh, that's what it is. And then we try and share that report with the parents as well, so then they can learn how to speak to the strengths of their children rather than pull up all of their weaknesses.
Mm.
So it's so powerful, that simple youth exploratory report, to enhance the communication.
Uh, you just brought up a great topic. When we all go
Mm.
through the John Maxwell team, and John reminds us that when we go through school, we're always trying to improve what our weaknesses are, right? And this is such a great reminder that we need to be focusing on our strengths because that's where we're going to really learn how to develop and reach our potential faster. And so these tools are so critically important. And so I love celebrating all of you that are putting this together and pouring into our youth. And this is global. So this isn't just like, hey, you only have to live in a certain community to be able to participate in this. People from all over the world are joining. And before I bring up this banner here, I want people to know if you want to go to hashtag JMT GYI, and I'm going to put this across the screen. If you want to go to that hashtag right now, you can look for an event that's happening, potentially right in your neighborhood.
Mhm.
So these
Yeah.
are all over the world, but this one that you guys are doing is next Saturday, the 14th at 2 p.m. Eastern to 3:30 Eastern. And it'll be on Zoom. So you have to register for this. And if you go into the notes, in any platform that you're looking at, if you're going into the notes section, there will be a registration link. So we need you to go there and register for the event, and then you'll receive an email with that Zoom sign on information. So I've got another guest here in the green room, Ed Reed. We're going to bring him on here. Good evening.
Hi, Ed.
Hi, Ed.
Oh, we can't hear you yet. Oh my goodness.
The boons and the banes of technology.
Yes. We'll wait for him
Uh,
to get on here
yeah.
live so we can hear him.
Mm.
Ed Reed was one of the 50 and 50 of the Everyday Leaders 50 and 50 last year. So if you have listened to that in the podcast, you really understood Ed's story. And I was going to ask him about consistency.
All
Oh,
right.
there
Can
he
you hear
is.
me now?
Hello.
Hello. Am I coming through clearly?
You are. You are
Okay. All
perfectly.
right. Sorry about
You're
that.
you're perfect. Thank you for joining us tonight. I left the question of consistency for you because I know in your life you have been practicing consistency for over 700 and some odd days now. in
Today was
teaching
day
leadership lessons.
772.
772 today. 772 days. Now, the only thing that I think I've done that consistent is get out of bed.
You've done more than that, Melanie. I know you.
But what an
Okay.
amazing testimony. You know, we say we can't follow people that haven't been somewhere that they're asking us to go and they haven't been themselves. And so the models of consistency, Ed, for you to be able to be a part of leading youth in this capacity to encourage them to just do one thing every single day to improve their life. You are like this epitome of a leader. So I want to celebrate you. I just love you.
I love you too. And I would tell you that perhaps for me, I'm a man of faith. And it is my faith that empowers me to be used as a vessel, because I'm only as good as the good Lord who breathes through me, that allows me to make sound. And that's the deal. And so I think God's love is consistent and we receive it daily. But I know you're about to ask me a question before I dove in, so I'm going to listen to you here.
Well, we were just talking about the lessons. I mean, Glynis and I have our books prepared, right? So sometimes you win, sometimes you learn is a great book. And this is for kids and for teens. So both of these books are what we reference during these trainings. But why I love to celebrate this is because this isn't just for, your kids. This is for your nieces, your nephews, your grandkids, your neighbors, anyone in the community that you feel could use just the value, feeling like they have value in the world. Just because we're not in school together, right? There are still bullying situations that are happening.
Yeah.
And I want you guys, whoever would like to address that, with this program, how this builds kids' value up of themselves, how they see themselves differently.
I think one of the things is, in order to learn, right, we have to learn how to embrace challenges and setbacks. And it's really important for our kids, especially kids growing up today, is that we help them to develop this grit, help them to develop this resilience, because we know that life is not fair, but it's here. And we know not everyone's going to be nice, because they're not. But we also know that you control how you choose to respond to the circumstances that you'll face in life. And as leaders, and everyday leaders, as John Maxwell Team leaders, we have the responsibility to equip our young people with the tools that they need to construct the life that they want. And so when we look at this book that John has written, Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn, for teens, and then when we come and we share nuggets out of that book, we are equipping the listener, who are their kids and their parents, with the tools. Now, we will give you the tools on Saturday, so make sure you sign up. But we'll also show you how you can use those tools to build. See, we all have to make choices, no matter how young or how old we are. But what helps us to make the best choice is when we have tools that can guide us, can give us insight and give us wisdom. And so even when we embrace failure, I call it Professor Failure, because Professor Failure is a great teacher. He's a friend of mine. And he often reminds me, he says, if you don't know how to be humble with your successes, you'll be back in my classroom. And so we know failure has a twin, and it's called success. And success's twin is failure, but we learn from each step. So I'm excited about the work we're going to do on Saturday, and it's going to be a great time to help empower the next generation.
And I think, just to add to what Ed was saying there, when we consider, and I don't want to speak for Ed or Glynis, but I know when I was a youth, and I'm not that old, so just I'm only 29, right, Ted? But the thing is, if we had been equipped with some of those strategies and some of those things that we're empowering those youths with today, uh, you know, our lives may have been different, but it's not a regret. We learn along the way. And so what we're trying to do today with youth is to empower them, give them a head start, give them a head start. And I think that's important. And I love the thought about also doing this in Zoom, is that sometimes parents get to hear what the youths are learning, and they get to understand how they can communicate better, going back to the question on communication. And so you communicate based on your strengths. There's a book by Gary Chapman, the Five Love Languages, right? Now, when parents understand that, especially with no kids knowing themselves and their strengths, the communication can be much better, and you can have less dissension, less well, I don't want to use the word fighting, but want of a better word, in those situations. But I think equipping the youth
Oh,
are, I'm sure Ed would agree with me in that, giving them that head start to a better life. Yeah.
mhm. Yep. Oh, Eric Reed, he's in the house. He is just making sure that we remember the hashtag. If
Mm.
you're watching this, you can go hashtag JMTGYI Global Youth Initiative to find a local event in your community. Or you can join this group on Saturday, November the 14th at 2 p.m. Eastern to 3:30 p.m. So it's 90 minutes, and you'll learn a lot of training and this personality assessment. If you've just joined us, or if you're watching the replay and you're kind of skimming through this, remember there is a personality assessment that is given to everyone that joins. And the only thing that you have to do is register. This is free. This doesn't cost anything. This is provided through the John Maxwell Team colleagues twice a year. And this Saturday is going to happen with this fabulous group of people right here. And you can get your own personality assessment. So the kids, the age is 10 to 18, which is the kind of the prime target, right? So when we're trying to develop the most, and so that would be really great for them or their friends, right? It could be a really nice event to be able to host for a youth group, or a group that you're having with the neighborhood, something to put on to add value to them right before the holidays. What a great way to go into 2021 with this confidence, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Melanie, I also wanted to add that, we are making it very interactive. We have Zoom breakout rooms. We have some icebreakers that, they physically need to, like, stand up or sit or whatever it is if they choose to share their camera. But it's just not going to be a teaching from us. There's a lot of sharing from them as well in the breakout room. So just wanted to say that it's going to be very interactive and fun.
Yeah.
Yep,
Learning through fun is the
Yeah.
best way to learn.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
and and Melanie, earlier you had keyed in on a phrase. It's a safe environment, and we just want to get that out there. It's a safe environment for the youth.
Hmm. That's really important because there's a lot of people thinking that they've dealt with COVID-19 now for several months, and still we think we have a safe environment in our own homes, most of us. But if kids are wanting to sign up, if you're watching this on YouTube, and you want to sign up for yourself, just go in there and register. And you can get on there with your phone. You don't have to be on your computer. You're going to be screen sharing. You're going to really enjoy all of the materials. I was watching from my phone on Saturday, which was wonderful. So if you feel like this is something that you can bring value to your life, and you want to sign up and register, we really encourage you to do that. And you can always reach out to any of the team members on the John Maxwell team, for support and guidance. And so that's really what this is about: is building that confidence around the world. And it's so wonderful. I'm going to share my screen real quick, and and I wanted to just show you all. If you went to the Youth Max, so if you went to John Maxwell, the Youth Max on online, and you would be able to then kind of see there's a video playing, and then there is some more information about the Youth Max itself. And so as we go through Global Youth Initiative, this is really about empowering the kids. And then there's another certification program that has just been launched recently. And so if you're a kid that is a leader in your school or your community, you can join in and become certified with the John Maxwell team. And that's what I think is so neat, and we forget to talk about sometimes that kids are the next generation of leaders, and so empowering yourself or your beliefs, if people around you, your friends or family, are telling you you can't do something or making you feel insecure, this is a really great program to have you stop and think and grab your journal and start feeling differently about what you can do in your life.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Melanie, to add to what you said there is, it's so key because kids are looking towards leaders outside. But, if you're watching this here, I just want to let you know that you can be the leader that other people look up to as well. Everybody's searching for that right leader. But how about you yourself, if you're watching here, you develop your own leadership potential, and it's easy to do, and then you can be that one that can lead others towards the right path, right? So thank you for sharing that, Melanie. That is so true. That certification and these tools are going to help everybody watching, all the youth watching, to then take ownership of that leadership in their lives.
Absolutely. Eric just asked again. The hours are 2 p.m. Eastern to 3:30 Eastern.
Yes.
So 2 to 3:30 Eastern, and all online, all on Zoom. So all you have to do is register in the links that you're looking at here, wherever you're seeing this stream from. Just click on that registration link, and then yeah, thank you, Eric, very much. And so it's really important, though. We want you to register and get signed up because we've got a nice group that's going to be there on Saturday. And, if you want to bring your parents' kids, you can bring them.
That's right.
Love to have a full room, right?
Yeah.
You,
We
you
make sure
know,
to put them in a different breakout room.
Melanie, what I would say also to our audience is that I want you to think about your kids. 'Cause I know the kids aren't on Facebook, right? The kids are not on Facebook because we're here. But if you have kids, your nieces, your nephews, your own children, and I want you to think about what skills do they need in addition to the things that are taught in school. What skills do they need to start developing now so that they're not trying to figure it out when they get older? And the number one skill I would say is self-awareness.
Yeah.
Right? We start with self-awareness. And then we begin to, more we know about ourselves, when we understand our strengths and our weaknesses, we understand the importance of making our strengths even stronger so that we know how to leverage those strengths, and then we know how to build systems to take care of our weaknesses instead of being so frustrated, instead of being so depressed and having so much anxiety around the things that are our weaknesses. If we just say, hey, there's a system. See, and when we look at this portfolio of personalities, we have the D, the I, the S, the C. And so if you're a person who, say you're an extrovert and you're just outgoing and you love just talking to people, but maybe you're not the person who needs to see all the little details before you can make a decision, then you're okay. And if you're the person who has to see every little detail before you're comfortable with making a decision, then that's okay. Because when we learn to appreciate who we are as unique individuals who come together with other unique individuals, we can begin to make magic happen, because now we have a certain level of confidence. Because the thing you've been wondering about yourself, you can have some confirmation. So when we do the exploratory reports, And then we begin to look at the different ways to learn when things are, in the book, sometimes we win, sometimes we learn. There's a chapter about being teachable. There's a chapter about humility. All right. And when we learn these different, I call them, they're the beats to the song. Each chapter is like a beat. And you learn to dance to the beat. You find your rhythm. And when you know who you are, you can dance to the music, because now you have a higher level of awareness of yourself. And once you understand yourself, now you can begin to help understand others. And as a leader, it's never about your title, but it is about your ability to influence. As Eric says in the chat, the disc is about putting it all together. You see, my friends, my young students, you are already a gift to the world. Our job is just to show you how to unwrap the gift that's inside. And so we really hope that parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, teachers, administrators, counselors, anybody who works with kids, right? We have a large capacity, and so we hope that you would register. Go ahead and click that button right now on your screen, and let's make it a gift. Give the gift, because if this was not the GYI with the caliber of the leaders that are presenting to you, if you wanted to get them individually, I'm pretty confident you would pay a high fee. And so we're not trying to sell you anything, but what we want to do is that this is how we give back. John Maxwell has poured into us. The leaders within the John Maxwell team has poured into us, and we want to pour into you.
Yeah. And Melanie, if I can just add a key, on a word that Ed said, appreciate. And he talks about self-awareness. When we have that self-awareness, and when the youths have the self-awareness, they can appreciate who they are, and in turn, they can appreciate others, and that would make the world a better place. Together we can begin to change the world.
Change the world. There you go. That's what I say everyday leaders do. They change the world. That's what you guys are doing. But you two words here, right? Influence and add value. And I think we always, as leadership coaches, want to find a way to how we can change the dynamics of who we're influencing or who's influencing us, right? And remembering that influences can be bad and they can be good. And so understanding that what is that learning capacity to discern what we're making decisions on and how we develop an inner circle, right? That's what I think is really important, especially going back to thinking when we were 10 to 18, right? So important. You guys are dropping some gold tonight.
Yeah, that was just the other day for me. I can't speak for Ed and Glynis, but 10 to 18 was just the other day for me. So.
We believe you, Nick. We believe you.
This must be
So
the
key.
second time around the track.
That's so
He's a
key.
little younger than some of us.
Yeah. Melanie, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said about influence. Our youth today are under the influence of so many different other factors, right? Whether it's the video games, whether it's their friends, or whether it is social media. And who you are is a sum total of all of the people that you hang out with. So come hang out with us on Saturday, and we will definitely give you some tools to equip yourself to then gather a really good inner circle of people that will help you to become your best self.
Amen. Amen. I'm going to put this across the screen. I want, in closing here, because we're right about 30 minutes, what is the one thing that you want the kids to take away from the event on Saturday?
To be who they are and to be able to love themselves.
All right. I'm going to say to understand the impact and power of the wise investment of your time. You will never get yesterday back. It's gone. Tomorrow is built by the decisions you make today. And on Saturday, if you invest time, don't spend time with us, invest time with us, and expect to get a high return on your investment.
It's good.
Excellent.
And what I would like to say is similar to what Ed just said. When you come there to invest your time, be fully present. Be fully present. Come there like a sponge to be teachable enough to take those tools. Don't just come with a mindset that you know everything. Come with a mindset that yes, I want to learn. I want my life to get better. I want to be able to be equipped. So I would tell you the advice is just come there, be fully present, be like a sponge to soak it all up, be teachable, and I can guarantee you, if you have that attitude, you will learn something for sure on Saturday.
Excellent. Well, my friends, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for changing the world, investing in youth. You guys are awesome, really. Glynis, Nick, Ed, thank you for joining tonight. And I hope everything goes great on Saturday. I wish you all the best. We're going to share this all over every single day this week across all the platforms. And we ask you, if you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you're watching this, if you're live here, that's great. Put in a comment, right, what you thought about this presentation, and did you know about GYI before tonight? And share this with somebody. If you're with a coworker, if you're going to a networking group this week with coworkers or family or friends, share this out. You would be really surprised how you can also impact and begin to change the world. And we really need your support. And it's really easy to do. It's all free, and you'll make a big difference in everyone's life. So thank you from the Everyday Leaders platform. Everyday leaders do go out and change the world, and this is how we're doing it. So thank you, my friends. Have a great night.
Thank you.
And please come back and let us know how everything went on Saturday, all right?
We will. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Melanie.
so much.
Thank
Yes,
you,
thank
guys.
you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.